I do not care if you win or lose, but I care if you're boring.
And as always, since day one, Southern Hand Slugfest, knockouts guaranteed. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Southern Hand Slugfest Dirty Boxing Podcast, Episode 5. And I got a very special guest joining me today, Mr. Jonathan Orso. Jonathan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good, man. Blessed to have you here. It's awesome. You were on my short list of guys I had to have on early, man. So you don't talk a lot. You let your actions do your talking. So this is a cool format where we can just express yourself and people get to know you better through this format and all that. So that's cool. But yeah, Jonathan ain't much of a talker. He's more of an action kind of guy. I can tell you that. I want to list off some of your accomplishments real quick with the promotion. For people who don't know, Jonathan, the Native Nightmare Orso, is a 2-time Southern Hand Slugfest champion. He holds a record of 7-0 with 5 knockouts. His 5 knockouts is the 4th most ever in the promotion's history. He's the #1 ranked Alabama fighter of all time, and he's ranked number 13 overall out of 248 men. So that's a quick little rundown of this man's accomplishments, something he's accomplished in only 2 tournaments. And like I said, it's an honor to have you here, man. Hey, take me back to your first tournament. What do you remember about that experience? This was summer of 2023. We remember it was Southern Hand Slugfest 5. Right. And we're just leading up to it, training for it. I think you had fought for Brock before, one time before that. You've been in gyms and stuff like that. But what was your experience? What do you remember about just training for it and getting ready for that, man?
So, actually competing-wise, the only thing I ever did, I played a little bit of college football. Mm-hmm. But as far as competing, getting actually serious to it, I started with Brock in February, and your event was in May, so I'd only been actually serious doing it for a few months. Yeah. And I had a buddy, he signed up last minute for your tournament in March. I don't know if you remember that one.
What's his name?
Tyler Sasser.
Oh, yeah, Tyler. Yeah, he did good. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy. Tyler's crazy.
So, no, he wanted me to actually do that one. He actually texted you trying to sign me up for it. Right. And I was like, I really don't want to show up on short notice and not be at 100%, and I just don't want to cheat myself like that. So I promised him I would get in the next one, and that's how that started. And going to it, I actually did. I went to Birmingham maybe a few weeks before yours, just to get like a test to do it. Yep. So we go all the way up there. I wound up coming up short to a decision in the semifinals, and I was disappointed. So coming to you, I knew I had to win. Yeah. And that was a tough tournament. More mentally than physically. Sure. Because your adrenaline builds up and it goes back down. Then you got to do it 3 more times. It's mentally exhausting. I'll say that. I'm
glad you said that. I say that to a lot of people. I haven't had many people say that back to me. Being able to spike your adrenaline at the right times and then calm down. It's a roller coaster of a night. And you know that you experienced that to the fullest. But I knew you had a chip on your shoulder and you had a fire in your eyes, and you showed up ready. But it's mentally and physically taxing. And I'm glad you got that other tournament under your belt. But you stepped into the big leagues of Southern Hand Slugfest. And I'll just say you were ready fully. You captivated the experience and all that. And so that was good, man. It was a good build-up. I had heard about you from multiple people that had trained with you before, been in gyms with you and stuff like that. And I heard, guys don't always live up to the hype. I hear a lot of names. I deal with thousands of fighters, man. Guys don't always live up to the hype. Whether the moment's too big for them or they have a glaring weakness in one area. You got some heavy hitters. They can't go more than 30 seconds. Right. It just, I didn't know what to expect. I just heard stuff. And I would say, all right, this guy's got some steam behind him. People believe in you, man. So it was cool getting you signed up and all that. So he signed up May 20th, 2023, entering his debut tournament with Southern Hand Slugfest. And I can tell you, we're about to have our 12th event. That heavyweight bracket was top 2 or 3 I've ever put together. And I mean, I could run down that roster and like everybody basically can go. And there were some bangers in there. So we'll talk about your progression through that night. So that was cool, man. You signed up, and I didn't start you off easy. You stepped in there, and your debut fight with us was Jonathan the Storm Walls, and a fan favorite. Everybody knows Jonathan loves Walls, man. He's such a people person and such a people's champ. But I remember you stopping him in the first round, and he had already fought in my first 4 tournaments. He'd been in there with Cade Miles, Snotty, PJ Taylor, Adam Nash, went the distance with everybody, landed his shots and all that. So when you stopped him in the first, I went, uh-oh. Yeah, this guy's serious. Josh is very durable. I've seen him in a lot of wars and stuff. So, but did you know who he was going to the fight or anything like that?
I looked at some previous tournaments before I stepped in there, but I didn't know who I was going to fight, so I tried not to pay attention to any one person. I didn't know who signed up, or Yeah. So when I got matched up with him, I was like, okay, a seasoned guy. So I stepped in there, focused, ready. And it's weird in those tournaments. I think my third fight in both your tournaments was my best fight. But unfortunately, I kept messing my hand up. So my last fight, I came in there kind of handicapped.
I remember that.
I had to dig deep.
Yep. I love that, man. I saw you overcome a lot that night. I think it was your right hand that was hurting you. Was it your right hand? Yeah. Yep. And, so you got through Josh Walls. Then you fought a guy, Chris Breezy Brown. He was tough. He's from Wigan. He kept getting up.
He took everything. I was looking for a referee to bail me out. I was like, man, stop the fight.
Orso dropped this guy, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. This guy kept getting up. He was so tough, man. And he was it ended up being the only guy who made it to the final bell with you. And that guy made you work a little. Yeah. He made you go all 3. So you remember anything specific about that fight, man?
Yeah, I remember looking at the ref and like, come on. And then I remember I was so exhausted after the fight. I was like, man. Yep. And then Parker Byers, I think that's who I fought in the final. Yep. I remember after the fight, I'm sitting down, gas exhausted. He walks by me smiling. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Vulture smelling blood. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's such a different kind of tournament, having to win 4 fights like that progressively throughout the night and watching the thin herd on the crowd thin out on the stage and slowly but surely. And you get to watch the other guys and kind of scout and all that. So, and that took you into the semifinals, and you fought Houston Maples.
Yeah, so I actually I fought. Yours was in May. I had the exhibition at our Choctaw Reservation on Brock Promotion, Choctaw Warrior Promotion.
That's right.
I was supposed to fight Houston Maples, and I think he hurt his wrist at work or something. So I wound up fighting somebody else. So I was excited for that fight.
Yeah. I knew y'all knew each other. He was from Alabama also, and what I remember about that fight, I rewatched it a couple weeks ago. He wore all white. I mean, his gloves were white, his headgear was white, his shirt was white, his shorts were white, and it just progressively turned pink and red throughout the night. Whether it was his blood or his opponent's blood, but his whole outfit started changing colors, man. I remember that about him. I said, this dude wore all white to Southern Hand Slugfest. It was awesome. And, I knew y'all knew each other. He's young, man. He was like 19 at the time, 19, 20 years old. So he's a good hitter. He beat Cody Johnston to get to the Final Four against you. And Cody's a heavy hitter and a tough guy, too. So
he had that vicious knockout at the same turn.
You remember that? That was
a fight before mine. Kind of let me focus up.
Man, that place exploded. Face first knockout, one of the nastiest knockouts in the promotion's history, and it was vicious. But yeah, you fought Maples, you stopped him in the second round, and with a very crisp combination, you really let your hands go. I could tell you were settling in, like you said earlier about your third fight being your best one, man, and you were in a flow state for sure. I mean, I'll tell this, you're faster than people think because you're a big guy and you have good combinations. A guy like you usually it's one big punch at a time and stuff like that. Yeah, you string them together very well. Underrated part of your game for sure. And so that took you into the finals. You were 3-0. You ran into another 3-0 fighter, and this is one of my favorite fights all time with the promotion. It was Parker Rye at the time. He had his last name changed, so Parker Byers is his name now. He had his name legally changed. But, yeah, Parker Wreck-It Rye is who you fought from Memphis, Tennessee. And, man, I've rarely been more excited about a fight that we've put on. And y'all coming into each other was just 2 young prospects, both 3-0 on the night. And it was the perfect conclusion to an epic event, man. And what do you remember about that fight, watching Parker before that? And then actually in the fight.
His first fight, he fought a older fella for the tournament. And they had a war. They went back and forth. They didn't finish that guy in the first round, but he stuck it out. And he wound up landing a good punch, I think, in the third round.
Yep, sure was. Beginning of the third round. Yep.
So they wound up having a battle. But I think after that, he walked through everybody. So I remember watching him. I kind of knew, I was like, okay, if I make it, that's probably who I'm going to fight.
Yeah.
And, like I said earlier, after I fought Chris Brown, I was exhausted. He took everything. And then that guy walked by me smiling. Like, man. So my dad kind of walked towards the stage before that fight. He was trying to give me like a game plan sort of. I told him, I was like, I know he's better. He looks better conditioned than me. So I said the first round's gonna be tough. I'm gonna try to lean on him and see if we can get on an even playing field for that second round.
Love it.
And it worked perfect.
Yep. Yeah, I love it. That's a great strategy to implement. Parker is long. He throws long punches.
Yeah, don't stop either.
Doesn't stop punching. He knows how to put you on the end of his punch. He uses his range well. And good athlete, good feet. Yeah. So it was a stylistic dream. And the first round, that's the most I ever saw you get hit. I mean, Parker was letting his hands go. Your chin showed through there, man. And it was good to see you overcome beyond that. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. Right. Don't mean you're going to win or lose the fight. Just, little sequences and exchanges and stuff like that. And what you took into the second round, I'll never forget that punch you hit him with is embedded in my brain. A leaping left hand that hit him, that jarred him. I mean, Parker tried to stay on his feet. And I remember when you landed that big shot, man, it changed everything. He stumbled back. He fell so hard, it broke the turnbuckle on the bottom rope. You remember that? You're probably so focused and locked in.
I didn't know it broke.
Yeah, he fell.
I remember it kind of like that at WWE, kind of like bounced off the rope. I tried to hit him with a right, I missed.
Yep. Yeah, that was the first knockdown. You hit him, he fell, it busted the turnbuckle. That had never happened before. And then he beat the count barely. And then that's when you hit him into the ropes. And the ref got in there just in time, I'll say that. So, but an epic stamp on the night, man. That is one of my favorite fights ever, man. That was special. And winning it in front of your people and all that, man. What was that like? $2,000 cash in the championship belt and all that, man.
That was awesome. I remember talking to myself after the first round in the corner. I was like, man, you can't come in. You can't. Because like I said, in Birmingham, I went there and I think I came in second place. Mm-hmm. I actually lost in the semifinals, but his final fight was easy. The guy I lost to. So I remember I was like, man, I can't come in second again. I got to get this money. I needed the money too. So
I know. You told me that. Yeah. You said I was not going to be denied. I need that money, man. So it was your determination, everything. It was special, man. I love that event. That was my first time at the Biloxi Community Center, and it was dynamite, man. You exceeded the hype and the expectations, man. I'll tell you that. And I see a lot of fights and a lot of guys come through and stuff. So you are a heavy-handed individual with technique to back it up, and that's why you're undefeated, champ. So that was really cool, man. It was special to see that. And so a night like that doesn't come without cost, though. You did hurt your hand pretty badly, and we talked about that multiple times because I wanted to get you right back in there. I couldn't wait. And tell me about your hand injury and the setback that was.
Like after I fought Chris Brown, I don't even remember. Like I said, I knocked him down a few times, but one of those times I messed my hand up. Mm-hmm. And I guess adrenaline going or whatever, I didn't feel it till I was on stage after that. And my hand was busted up. I was trying not to tell anybody then in case my opponent heard me. Sure. And then as you notice, if you go back and watch the fight, I was throwing nothing but left hands. Mm-hmm. Every now and then I get carried away and throw it right, but didn't have nothing behind it.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah. Now you kept your poker face on because I didn't know, and then you told me. I remember you got the cash and you did your interview, which was awesome too. And you said my right hand's messed up bad, and you told me. I said, "Damn, man, that's wild." And you told me it happened early in the night too, and that was it adds another layer of your game of the toughness and stuff like that. So I know that put you out for some months.
Yeah, it did. 'Cause I was actually trying to right after that, I got in touch with some guys at Port City MMA in Mobile, mm-hmm. and I was going to transition to that because I feel like I'm a little too old and too short to be a heavyweight boxer as far as like a high level, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think MMA will be the quicker route as far as getting like a serious contender or fighter, however you want to put it. Yeah. So I was transitioning to that, and my hand was just setting me back. If I tried to push it, I would hurt it worse. So I just had to kind of chill out on everything. Yeah. For a few months.
Yeah, I know that killed you being sidelined like that, man. And the heavyweights now, it's just a different breed of athlete. Everyone's 6'8", 6'7". You know how it is, man. They got, so many amateur fights and stuff like that. So, everybody's got. How do you feel about the other aspects of your game? Your kicking, your grappling, all that. How do you feel about that?
Can't throw a high kick yet.
Me neither.
Yeah, kind of stiff. So I can throw a pretty good leg kick. Yeah. And I probably could throw a body kick, but you'll probably never see me throw a body kick.
That's all right. Leg kicks are what matter, man. That's what I see. These calf kicks, what they implement now. These guys, just
people's legs going dead.
Oh man, it's crazy, but yeah, that's awesome, man. I look forward to seeing you venture into that, man, and take off in that direction too. But yeah, so you healed up, and you told me we continuously communicated throughout the months, and you said I will be back.
Yep.
Don't know when, but I'll be back, Rick. And you told me, and undefeated in your fights, but undefeated on your word too. You did come back, and another stacked heavyweight bracket. So about 10 months later, you showed up at Southern Hands Slugfest 9, and that was March of this year. And that was an interesting tournament too. A lot of crazy stuff happened behind the scenes, but you showed up. So tell me about your mentality going into that one. You were the returning champ. It's a little bit of a different approach. You knew exactly what to expect from a Southern Hands Slugfest event. Did you feel pressure to repeat? Was you looser because you were comfortable, or what?
Once I necessarily didn't feel pressure from it, but I do not like being quote unquote favorite. I don't like that. I don't like people expecting stuff, and like
sure.
Some of the guys there were like kind of building me up to the other guys that were walking in while we was in the line to weigh in and stuff. I don't like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like being the underdog. I like people not knowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. You know, I'm gonna promote you and shine that spotlight on you. You deserve that credit, but that comes with a certain thing and attention and stuff like that. So yeah, that's always a fascinating thing when champs come back. They all tell me, people look at me a little different, like you said in the pre-fight medicals and all that.
And stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
People like telling me like you already won. I know who's being in this and stuff. Like I don't like stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah.
I like to, no matter if my opponent's 5'8", 6'5", I like to build them up like they Francis Ngannou.
That's right.
So I don't underestimate nobody. I'm on top of my game.
It's a common mistake, man.
Right. Especially in this type of tournament, because one punch.
That's it. You know how it is, man. You're a heavyweight. I mean, everybody can hit hard to some degree.
Right.
Heavyweight, they got body weight behind them, but underdogs surprise guys all the time because they get complacent.
Right.
That happens. I've seen it many times where less talented guys beat guys.
Right.
It happens, and it's only 3 1-minute rounds too. So it's real quick fights, and so yeah, you went into that one. That was a very fun tournament. So you won your first fight. You fought Joseph Gregory. A good highlight, a great combination. Actually, somebody ringside took a video, and I think I sent it to you. Yeah, I love that video, man. And you hit him with a good 3-punch combination and finished him off. So you picked right up where you left off 10 months prior. It was knocking people out, man. So you were starting to cruise and blitz. I never told you this. You got a bye that night, if you remember. And you got a bye that night. And your opponent dropped out when he found out y'all were matched up. So I'm not going to name that guy, but yeah, he took off on me. He didn't want to do it anymore once he found out you were next. So I guess you kind of won that fight by intimidation. And then you went into the semifinals. You fought Devin Hinton, who was that dude is so game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only like 208, and he begged me to. I was like, Devin, cut to middleweight. Nope, I want to fight the big boy. He was hell bent on it. He was 2-0 with 2 knockouts heading into that. He's from Florida. What do you remember about that fight, man? I know y'all went some rounds and.
Right, I remember that bye. I think hurt me more than it helped me because I was in great shape for that. Me and Brock, we went through a lot of training, cardio, conditioning. I was in great shape for that, so I did not want to bye. I kept asking, who's I fighting, and they kept calling, kept calling. Eventually, I told my dad, I think I'm gonna get a bye.
Yeah.
And they was all happy for it. It's like, dude, you need that. But I knew I was like, man, I'm gonna get rusty. Like I said, the first tournament, I knew my third fight when I focused up. I guess just easing into it and I don't know, just warming up kinda. Yeah. And then that bye hurt. So the first round, that guy was kind of sloppy. He landed a couple punches. I landed a couple punches. But I was working the body with him. Me and Brock worked a lot of body work leading up to that. And that's what wound up getting with in the second round, that body shot.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. That was very clean, and you definitely changed levels very well in that fight. You added new layers to your game from your first tournament to your second tournament. I saw that development, and yeah, that was a fun fight. Yeah, that bye can ruin your momentum. You know me. You've heard my fights. I do whatever I can to avoid it, but odd numbers do happen, Yeah. So, but that guy, a guy took off on me. That's how that ended up working out. But no, you handled business, and just like that, you were 2-0 with 2 knockouts on the night and back in the finals, and. Again, you ended up in one of the most fun fights we've had in recent history. Talk to me about Darren Hercules Eastray. What you think about that fella?
Man, so that big champion, I can't think of his name, but he's huge. I seen he knocked him out cold. And one of the,
Bobby Fails.
Yep.
The
big bald head.
That's
guy.
right. Yep.
So I seen him. He knocked him out cold. I was like, man. I was like, okay, I got to watch for that. And I knew I would fight him at some point. I just knew I did. And unfortunately, when I was fighting Devin, I hurt my same hand again, but this time it was worse. My hand goes numb on me after that. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to suck it up. You know? That's why most of that fight, you see me keep a high guard. I think that was the least offensive I've been in a fight, but I knew I was like, he landed with them overhands.
Sure. You know? Yeah. You got to fight Hercules a certain way. He's got quick hooks. He moves his head well too, and he's got a certain style about him. So no, you still had your output, but I saw you reserving a little. Y'all took the headgear off of that fight. Yeah. By the way,
I kept the high guard and just kept coming forward the whole time. I probably outweighed him by about 50 pounds.
Yep.
So I just kept coming forward.
Yep. Yeah, he's Hercules is a heck of a fighter, a great dude. Respects you a lot. Spoke so highly of you. And 2 tournaments later, he showed up and went 4-0 and won the whole thing. I don't know if you saw that or not. It's something like this 11. So he had runner up twice in a row, and so he closed the deal last time. So congrats to Hercules. But that was a fun fight, man, and a back and forth battle, man. Y'all were, good exchanges. Looked like you took charge early. He started to turn it on a little late, and but yeah, you were the clear unanimous decision winner, and you capped it off, man. You did it again, another $2,000 on the bank and another championship belt, and you remember that and that experience and all that, and take me through that, winning it again. You did it again, undefeated. It's so hard to repeat in this tournament. I throw some guys, and there's so many elements, man, like just hurting your hand. Some guys, they step out after that. There's so many elements to overcome. So what'd that feel like, man, winning it again, the money, the cash, the belt, in front of your people?
It was great. I thought about stepping out because, like I said, my hand was actually numb, but I had too many people there. And then I heard him whispering and stuff. A few of them thought I was going to lose just because the way he looked. He was running through everybody, knocking them out cold.
He was.
All that. Even that Chris Brown guy, I couldn't finish him. He crushed him.
That's exactly right.
Seconds.
Yeah, that's something I always pay attention to is common opponents. Right. And like you just said, that was when you were 2-0 with 2 knockouts. He was 3-0, 3 knockouts. So that is the epitome of cleaning out the division. Right. And it was just the 2 best guys fought in the end. The cream always rises to the top. And I know some people who thought Hercules was going to be a little too fast for you. Right. And they just thought he was going to be able to move around and land his shots and all that. So you did adjust your style. You had a good high guard. You cut the ring off well. You cut the ring off very well. And it was a very fun fight. But you did it again, man. You overcame it all. And I'm trying to find somebody to beat you, but I can't, brother. You keep doing it, man.
Something I noticed about me, I fight to my competition level. So if I fight a guy less skilled, my fight's a little more sloppy. Yep. If I fight a guy more skilled, I'm more focused in, more dialed in. I don't know why. It's just always like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen pros do that. I've seen a lot of pros who they struggle with journeyman, and they'll be in a world title fight. They look like a world champion. That's what they look like. So it's kind of funny, man. Teams do that. Football teams do that sometimes. You see it in college football all the time where they play down, and teams overlooking a team, and they're playing a team from a smaller conference. And it's funny how you do that, man. You adapt to what's going on around you, and that's definitely your MO. But you did it again, man. That was pretty cool. And speaking of doing it in front of all your people, man, you got some of the most loyal, loud, enthusiastic fans and people following you, man. They love you. They're just all in, man. And talk to me about your native heritage and Moa Choctaw and what that means to you, man, being that.
I take pride in being a Choctaw. Moa is actually just Mobile and Washington County put together. The actual tribe is the Choctaw tribe.
Okay.
I'm very proud of it. We state recognized. Hopefully one day we get federally recognized. So we don't get I know you hear people get money just for being Native American, like the tribe a few minutes up the road. They get, I think it's $80,000 a year. Like birthdays, Christmas, they get $80,000 a year.
That's when you're federally recognized.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of rumors and all this of why we're not federally recognized. The fact is we're not, but I still take pride in it.
Yep. You should, man.
This shirt, this diamond right here, this Choctaw shirt, this is made by Colby Bridge with AMF.
That's right. I love all them AMF guys. Colby's a solid dude too, man. I got Chase Wolford, Frank Bunkley. They all fight for me. And Yeah, you want to give him a shout out, man. He's is it always moving forward? That's what it stands for, right?
Yeah, I love that. That's kind of like my fighting style too.
Yeah,
but that's the mentality through life. Though, always moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. A lot to go overcome, way outside the ring. A lot to overcome, and yeah, I know you're proud of that. You wear it well, man. It's authentic, and you know, it's you take a lot of pride in it, and I love that about you, man. And but your people, man, are so they're good fans. They're just enthusiastic. But boy, I look over and they.
I think they. I just think that I think by the last fight, them drinks added up on.
Yeah, a long event. Yeah. The beer was flowing, man. Yeah, they had a great time. You had a whole section, man, and they're enthusiastic, man. Now, what's that do for you, man, in that ring, hearing them, knowing they're there for you, they're spending that Saturday night supporting you, and
that means a lot. Like I said, that's just I try to talk myself between rounds. That's just like a extra thing I'm telling myself, like, man, all your people paid to come here and see you. You can't quit. You gotta win. Stuff like that. Yeah. Like it's actually funny. My uncle, he's real quiet and all that. He's kind of like me, big. He don't say nothing. And that championship fight between rounds, he's the only voice I heard. I look behind me. He's this close to the ring.
Yep.
I'm like, dang, bro.
He was starting to close it. I remember that. I said, yeah, have a good time, man. Just stay back for me. He did. He was a good dude, man. Yeah, he wasn't quiet that night. I remember. I know exactly who you're talking about, man. He had fun, man. Speaking of your family and all that, little trivia fact for everybody. Your dad and uncle, James and Chuck, used to fight for my dad. So here we are a generation later, which is pretty funny. Yeah. And I remember them boys back in the day. They fought at like welterweight, 170.
Yeah, my dad, he kind of just like, said screw it. He fought whatever.
Yeah.
My uncle, he did a little more serious. Mm-hmm. He fought at 170.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a good pro boxing background, and I remember his fights, man. He was fast and strong. He was a good athlete, and I watched him get a rematch on a guy who beat him, Robert Thompson.
I went to the first match. I think my parents had a little casino trip. The second time I didn't get to go, but yeah, I went to the first one. I was kind of disappointed because I think he started off like 6 or 7-0, and then I think he took a short notice fight all the way in Ireland, and then back then, like going to Ireland and fighting, like man, and he winds up adrenaline dumping over there to his first loss. I think everybody was kind of disappointed.
Yeah. Yep. I remember the Orsos growing up, man. They were tough dudes. They were scrappers for sure, man. And yeah, they were always game, man. It was fun watching them. But yeah, pretty funny, man. Interesting fact about us that are generational where we are now, man. That's pretty cool.
And then the first time I remember my daddy fighting MMA was at the same place the first tournament was, in the community center with the upstate.
Yep.
Yeah, I was up there and he got knocked out of the night that night.
Wow. Yep. Same venue. Yep. That's crazy, man. That's historic. That's so funny. Is that what got you interested in fighting? Watching your family and stuff like that? What sparked that interest in you about competing and wanting to train?
I was so young when they was doing it. When my dad was serious with it, him and my uncle both boxing, but I was so young I really didn't know what was going on. But I got an older cousin, like 3 or 4 years older than me. I looked up to him. Whatever he wanted to do, I wanted to do. So I say I was about like 7 or 8. So he had been like 11, 12 at the time. He starts boxing. And I asked my mom, could I start boxing?
Yeah.
And then she was like, heck no, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I played football all the way growing up. But in the back of my mind, I still wanted to do that. And every time I would go to my dad's, we would just be chilling. And out of nowhere, he comes out with some mitts, like 1, 2, and then it just goes on a whole hour session just hitting mitts. So I was pretty much trained by him my whole life, just random times. As far as like a gym or nothing, when I quit playing ball when I was 19. So for a couple years, I really didn't do nothing. And then eventually, I was like, man, if I don't start now, I'm going to regret it. So that's why I just got into it.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, you turned it up. That was. I remember when I realized that was your family, man. I was like, man, that is crazy, man. Small world, And that was pretty fascinating, man. So let me ask you a question. Everybody knows Jonathan Orso is good at fighting. Tell me something you're terrible at, man. What are you terrible at?
A lot of things.
Me too. I think I'm good at poker, but I'm not. There's a lot I'm not good at, man.
Yeah. Nah, my poker face is terrible. Can't ride a bike. I can barely swim. I'm not artistic at all. Like my girlfriend, she wants to paint each other and do all this, and mine just looks horrible. I can't do nothing like that. But
yeah. I got a lot of stuff, man. I know that's what. Yeah, I think about that. I was like, I think I'm only good at like 7 things. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's yep. Uh, hey, you got any Southern Hand Slugfest fighters you enjoy watching? Any guys on the roster you've seen through tournaments that you kind of keep up with and you enjoy, no matter the weight class or anything like that?
Right. I like watching Hercules. Yep. Of course, my teammates. I like watching Frank whenever he does it.
Yeah.
I can't remember this guy's name. He's a tall Puerto Rican. I was rooting for him to win it that first tournament I did. Like 6'3" middleweight.
Okay.
I cannot remember his name.
I'm trying to think who you're talking about. Oh, Brandon Oaks.
Maybe.
Yeah, Brandon Oaks. Yep.
Tall Puerto Rican.
Yep.
For him to win it. I like Prune Juice. I like the nickname.
Yep. So. Yeah, Youngest Johnson. I love Prune Juice, man. He's a fit. That dude is so game, man. He's the only fighter ever I let sign up the day of. He showed up with a mouthpiece and trunks. He had his license already. He showed it to me on his phone. And he goes, I'm just going to be hanging out if you need me, Rick. Just let me know. I looked him up. He wasn't a pro. Okay. Sure enough, a middleweight no-showed on me. I said, all right, Prune, you ready? He goes, yep. Let me go get my stuff in my car. Like that. He's the only fighter that I ever let sign up the day of. So that's how I got started with Prune Juice. He fought my second tournament ever, and he's been a staple. But yeah, Prune's a hilarious. He's actually, that dude could be a stand-up comedian, man. That dude he cracks me up. I love that guy. He's very authentic and genuine. But yeah, man, that's some good names there. Hey, let me ask you, what do you think about Michael Snoddy? What do you think about him as a fighter?
I mean, honestly, I seen the Facebook stuff, everybody keeps tagging and stuff like that, but it's never personal for me, like none of these fights and stuff. Like, I don't know. I actually feel bad most of the times I win because I know what it feels like to lose, so I put myself in their shoes. I don't like that.
Sure.
I'm trying to make nothing personal, but yeah, I'm sure we'll eventually fight. Everybody wants to see it happen, and I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah. He likes you a lot. He respects you. He just he wants to get in there with you, man. He thinks he can beat you. He wants to test himself. He's got only one more tournament of eligibility left, and he wants to test himself. So I think it'd be a fun fight for a lot of people. But yeah, he respects you a lot, man. And y'all are 2 of the most accomplished guys that's ever fought for this promotion, and y'all's names are getting known, man. Yeah, I hope we can make it happen.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen. Yeah, probably December.
Yeah. Speaking of December, I do have a heavyweight tournament coming up. Southern Hand Slugfest 13, December 20th, back in Pascagoula, and would love to have you a part of it. You know that the door's always open for you, champ. And yeah, we're gonna have some debuts, some guys people don't know about yet that can go a little bit. So it's gonna be a fun tournament. But yeah, man, it's growing more and more. So you just had your MMA fight, right? How'd that go?
My opponent actually backed out.
Okay.
I didn't have it.
Y'all were scheduled
for August 10th, and according to my manager, he just went ghost. So happens.
Yeah.
I was supposed to fight October 25th on Island Fights coming up. Supposed to make my MMA debut.
That's right.
We'll see.
Good, man. Yeah, that'll be fun. Dean's a good guy to fight for. Dean's a great guy. Great promotion, great platform. A lot of eyes on that. So that'd be fun for you, man. You want to shout anybody who's just helped you along the way, man? I know we talked about Brock. I mean, I remember Brock when he first called me about you. I love Brock. And he said, I got a heavyweight and he's going to win it. That's what he said. That's the first 2 sentences he said to me when he called me.
Man, I love Brock. Brock's helped me so much.
Yep.
He kind of, when my dad and my uncle was in the back end of their career, more specifically my uncle, Brock would come over there, get knowledge, train with those guys and all that. He tells me all the time, he's like, man, your dad is the first person to ever knock me out. So I'm like, okay. And I'm sure Brock's trying to get his payback, man. But I like that. And when we spar and training, that's when I take my beatings. So
Yep. Behind closed doors when you're working. Right. That's right, man. Yep, that's the way to do it.
So when it happens in a real fight, there's nothing new. I'm used to it. Let's say Brock gives me some good sparring sessions. Blake Singley.
Yep.
You know Blake.
I know Blake. Yep. Blake's been around a long time. I think he's Satsuma. Lives up there. Yeah. He got a boxing ring outside or something like that. Yep. I've seen it in his yard. Yep. So I know Blake a long time. Yep. Yeah, Blake said he was a good boxer. He was a good amateur boxer growing up. Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of people, you take bits of knowledge from so many different people, man, along the way in the journey, man, and just collectively. And having that guidance and people who have been there and done that. Having it in your blood helps too.
Right.
I mean, that just helps, and you meet people along the way, man, that just add layers to your game and stuff like that. So that's really cool, man.
Will Covington's helped me out a lot behind the scenes, getting a few things set up, giving me advice and things like that.
Yep.
Making sure I'm straight all the time.
Yep.
And Kobe Bridges, he makes all my gear, very professional, very great company to work with, and it looks nice too.
Looks great, man. All his designs are, I mean, they're bangers. Chase Wolford, because he's such a country dude, man. He wore camo to one of my tournaments. He wore like camo AMF. Damn. it was Colby's on it, man. He's a master of his craft. So cool designs, man. I like that a lot. Yeah, man. It's who are some people like your sponsors, man, that have backed you up and stuff like that and stepped up and helped you?
Got MJ Bird Trucking. See what? It's on the back of the shirt, but it's and my cousin Dennis Jr. He's got, I think it's Junebug Services. He got a lawn care. He's helped me out pretty straightforward. I asked him, "You be interested in sponsoring? No questions asked." Yeah. Send me the money, all that. Art Fusion. I think I got a cleaning service. One of my best friends, his wife, she's got a cleaning service. And, try to get businesses around the house to represent my people. And I just got one of my cousins. His name is James Orso too. He's got Orso Trucking and Tree Removal. I just got him as a sponsor. So
okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty new when it comes to all that. Like, don't really know how to ask people for sponsors and stuff like that. So.
Just my advice, man, on that. Look, you're marketable, Jonathan. A lot of fighters, some aren't, some are. You got a good style, look, all that matters, man. Fun nickname. You're a heavyweight. You're heavy-handed. You knock people out. People are going to want to jump on that train. If you keep getting better with your trajectory, I promise you, you'll flip the script. Sponsors will call you. You won't have to ask anybody. And you're a marketable guy. You're a hell of a dude outside the ring. You've always been so 100 with me. Everything you said you were going to do, you did. You delivered. You don't even brag about that, so I'm bragging about that, how genuine you are, man, honestly. And, you know, you can go as far as you want to. You got it. So, yeah, you got, it's up to you to decide how far you want to go with it, whether it's a pro journey one day, whatever, avenue you do it, man. But you actually can do it, man. So, I know that about you. And your trajectory. I know you just, you got a little baby girl, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's changed your whole life, huh? Yeah, that's everything, brother. That's what's that done with your perspective and everything?
It's still kind of weird sometimes. Sometimes I won't say I forget, but like, I don't know, I just be holding her sometimes like, man, I'm really a dad. You know what I mean? She's 9 months. I actually just had my sister. She had a newborn son a few days ago. So I just became an uncle.
Wow.
I'm the oldest of, I think, 8.
8. Yeah. Wow. Bunch of brothers and sisters, huh? Yeah. Golly. Yeah. Man. So you became an uncle, you became a dad, same year. Yeah, it adds another layer of your life. And
it's the biggest form of motivation, making sure she's straight.
Yep.
And I won't necessarily say it's hasn't been an obstacle in my fight career, but it's definitely changed some things. I had to slow down to get everything straight with her, make sure everything's in order for her to be okay before I can just go to work and go train every day and all that. Necessarily say I can't ignore it, basically. Yeah. Make sure everything's in order.
Look, you got your priorities straight. You know what it is. You got your priorities straight, man, and you'll people find ways. They find ways how to adapt their schedule, their work schedule, whatever it is, their sleep schedule, whatever it is, man. People find ways. You know that, and yeah, man, that's awesome. I love keeping up with you on Facebook, man, and your posts, man. It's beautiful watching guys grow and evolve as a family man and an athlete, and so that's really nice to see, man. Yeah, I appreciate you always supporting the promotion, speaking highly of it, sharing posts, all that. I notice, man. Anytime I've asked you to do something, just for help spread the word on whatever, man. It's building a business and a brand is it ain't for the faint of heart. It's 24/7, and so I appreciate when guys come and fight for me, man, and some guys, they come fight for me, they only care about when they're competing,
Right.
And that's fine and stuff like that. But most guys aren't like that. Most guys do support afterwards, stuff like that. But even after between events, whatever like that. So I noticed, man. I appreciate your year-round support like you've done, man. So that means a lot to me. It really does.
It take like 5 seconds to click share. Plus, I believe in the promotion. It's unique because it's a tough man, but it's not like the one I fought in Birmingham. There was so many like you can't beat this. They can't have footage of you fighting. They don't want no real fighters. With your promotion, it's I'd say it's like 60-40 or from the heavyweight bracket of actual fighters and the guys just bucket list guys or somebody that just wants to do it.
That's right.
Most of those guys are game. They come in, they're ready to fight. They know how to fight. They're seriously trained. So it's a unique brand and promotion.
Yeah, thank you, man. I mean, those very high value words. That's what I wanted to create. I wanted to create just the Super Bowl of tough, man. This the guys train for this. They build a training camp around this. They take it seriously. Right. They you're going to get the guys, like you said, the bucket list guys who want to, man, I just got to get in there once and scratch the itch and see how I do. That's no problem.
And they, I think they tougher than me. I don't think I can come off the couch and
go. No, not mentally. I wouldn't be able to. I just wouldn't be able to step in there knowing you're not 100%. And you're leaving too much on the table there. I just can't. I wouldn't be able to do that, man. But no, you've always shown up 100% prepared. And that's what I wanted to create with it, man. Honestly, was a promotion people had to take seriously. You're like, man, you can't just step. You're the 2-time champ, and you have 7 wins with this promotion. And I want you going. All right, if I sign up for that, I gotta put in work.
Yeah,
I'm not gliding by and doing that.
I gotta be mentally ready, physically ready. I got everything's gotta fall in line because at the end of the day, I could fight 4 guys that's just as good as me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or more conditioned than me, so it's not something you can take lightly.
Yeah.
And then when you tell somebody like, "Oh, I want a tough man," most people they're gonna think about some of those other tournaments like, "Oh man, you didn't fight nobody," stuff like that. I've heard that plenty of times.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had a lot of guys change their tune after they've competed in it. Guys, I have guys. I have this guy from Louisiana. I'll tell you, he had 185 amateur fights, and he did verified through USA Boxing. He lost his first Southern Hand Slugfest fight. He's lost. He's like, damn, man, I wouldn't. The pace he was used to taking his time, 2-minute rounds, 3-minute rounds, whatever. And the pace, like, damn, these boys they ain't playing, man. They coming in here and they trying to get me. And it's good cash prizes. That's motivational. And championship belt and you fight for your name. You fight for you fight for legacy and take it seriously. So. Yeah, man, it's been something. It's been a wake up call for a lot of people. Where they've been like, "Damn, man, I underestimated this a little bit. I got to be honest with you, man." So
especially like counter punches, that I'm sure that tournament's very tough to adapt to. Like my style, it kind of fits my style, coming forward, aggression.
Yep.
But, like Frank, when he won that one, I'm sure that was tough.
Yep.
Because he's a great boxer.
That's
great
right.
Footwork, counter puncher.
Yeah.
And then having to adapt to the style of the tournaments, just aggression, forward pace, punch output.
Yep. Great insight by you. So Frank, for people who know, Frank Bunkley, he's fought 4 tournaments for me. He has 12 fights with me. He's a boxer. He's a good boxer. He's very technical, solid head movement. He's crisp. He's not a knockout fighter. He's just not. And Frank can jab you to death if he wanted to. A lot of things, but you'll lose fights doing that here. Frank started with this promotion because his style. His first 5 fights, he was 2-3. Yeah. Frank Bunkley. Frank can fight. Yeah. At Southern Hand Slugfest, he was 2-3. He adapted his style. I remember this, and his punch output went through the roof. And he said, "Well, I'm still gonna be me because I know my style and all that, but I'm gonna adapt to the tournament and the format of it." He won his next 6 fights in a row, and he beat 2 or 3 other lightweight champions on that run. That's what Frank did. After he changed his style. So he was still Frank Bunkley, but he was a different version of himself and that punch output, man. So that shows you a good boxer can do well in this too. And Frank Bunkley is the epitome of that example, And great insight by you. I tell people that all the time about adapting your style to it and all that. Well, what would you give advice to a debut guy signing up for this, man, if he asked you?
Can't be scared to get hit.
Yeah.
You gotta have plenty of grit and pride. Yeah. There's gonna be obstacles. Even if you do run through everybody, the mental aspect of it, it's gonna be the same no matter what. Because like I said, never seen fight before, and then you got to you just won your fight. You can't be too happy about it because you got to get yourself ready to do it again.
Yeah.
And it may be, especially that first round, it could be an hour before you fight again, and then those later rounds it's quicker.
Yep.
But then that's when you're more fatigued. So mentally, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's probably one of it is the most toughest thing I did fighting at this tournament.
Yeah.
And even agreeing to do it is tough. Yeah. Because once you agree to do it, you're locked in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I
appreciate you saying that verbal commitment, your word. You know, you've never even mid tournament hurting your hand, going, I committed to this. If I lose, I lose. Right. But I'm in this. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you've gotten where you've gotten, because that mentality. And
in any fight, I don't know if most fighters are like this, but me, I don't imagine myself winning. I imagine myself losing. I could lose like this, like this, like this. So the whole time I imagine myself losing, and then you have 4 fights, so I imagine myself taking 100 L's in my head before I stepped in there one time.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think that kind of keeps you focused. Like I know guys like they're not scared of it, they're not nervous or nothing. I think they're lying, but maybe I 1 or 2 that might not be, but I think most guys are. Yeah, you always got that fear of humiliation too.
Of course, it's so vulnerable, man. Right. You're in the ring fighting another stranger in front of a lot of strangers. These crowds. Then your people are there. You're so vulnerable, man. Like when I hear somebody who's never fought, like say something bad about a fighter, in the most modest way possible, I'm like, man, you are so outside your scope of understanding of what it takes to make that walk. Right. And so it's tough. It's tough. Like you said, even committing to an event, you go, here we go. It's going to be this. You know what it is. So it's, I think most guys, they are nervous or scared to some degree. You play a million scenarios in your head. Right. You play getting knocked out in your head. You play getting embarrassed in your head. You play all these things in your head. So that's what makes it extra rewarding when you overcome all that, those mental thoughts and stuff like that, and you overcome it. And at the end of the night, you're standing there and you're like, damn, man, I did it. I mean, I'm out there trying to get the best amateur guys I can get that are eligible to compete in this. And I got a good scope. You've seen where all these guys are from and stuff like that. I'm reaching out to gyms. Got guys call me from all over. I mean, I've had 24, 25 different states represented from gyms, sending me guys. They get hotels the night before. They come down, send you. And for you to be left after that is it's a good accomplishment. It's a heck of an accomplishment, man. It really is. You a special fighter, man. You are. You're a special dude for real. That's where I see it going in the future, man. I want to raise the cash prizes. I want to make it even bigger and better. I want to, make the stakes even higher. I want to just keep growing it, man. But we getting there, man. We moving. Right. We're going to be in different states soon, and it's growing over and over, man. But yeah, you've been a part of it. You've been an advocate of it, and I ain't done with you, man. You know how bad I want you back in there, but I want the timing to be right. I want you 100% in there when life allows it. Right. That's gonna be interesting, man. I'll say, when it comes to your fight career, man, like that, I always, and you have this, man, is I literally did an entire episode of a podcast on this, is about like treating it like a business. Right. Treating it like a business. There's risk reward analysis. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why you got good coaches around you and you have a manager and stuff like that. That's where you treat this like a business. That's why they call it a fight career. It's a fight career. It's your fight career, especially in the pro world, right. And navigating that and filtering out, that's a good opportunity. I don't really need that, and having that risk reward is so important, man. I see guys dive into fights they got no business being in. You know what I mean? I hate seeing guys just, but you got a good mind to you, man. So keep those faculties about you, man. It'll keep leading you to success, just how you navigate all that, man. So what do you do besides that, man? How do you make your money?
Construction work. I was doing scaffolding as soon as I came home because my dad, he was in it for 20-something years. He was a boss, so, I could just call, hey, I need a job. Okay, come out here with us. Yeah. And then found out pretty quick that's hard work, so I looked to try to find something else. Yeah. And I did everything. I done laid cable. My most recent venture, whatever I did, I went to Dallas, Texas, and got trained on how to fix garage doors. So I do a little bit of that now. Yeah. To try to work for myself, and I don't know, just wherever the money's at. Really.
Yeah, yeah.
I hit a shutdown out of town. It don't matter.
That's right. That's good money, man. It's temporary, but it's good money.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
It sucks having to be away from everything.
Yeah, travel, man, and all that. Yeah, I know. I got a good buddies who they work offshore, man, and it's just they're gone for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, stuff like that. It's just tough, man. Guys have families and all that. You ever had any aspirations to be a business owner? And if so, what would you get into?
Sometimes I really don't know. I don't know what it would be.
Sure.
I know my brother. He's a barber. He talked about opening his own barber shop. Maybe go in business with him, help him out with him, help fund that or whatever.
Yeah.
He's young. He's in college now.
Yeah. I'd come get a fade from you.
Okay.
Come
no,
on.
Not me. From him.
Where's he at? Where's he up in?
He's in Jackson, Mississippi. He's at
okay.
D3 Bellhaven.
Yeah.
He plays college ball right now.
Come
He's
on.
actually looking to get into combat wear when he finishes, but like I said, my mom's totally against that, so he ain't been able to do nothing either.
Yeah.
But he actually, the high school he went to had wrestling, so he did pretty good in wrestling.
Really?
I think he almost made, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I think he almost made state one year.
Okay. Yeah. How's your mom feel about you fighting now? Now that
she hates it.
Yeah, still.
if I win, she's like, why'd you do him like that? And then leading up to it, she's like, I'm gonna pray for you. You need to stop all that. So,
that is funny, man. That's spoken like a true mama. You got a good mom, man. She got her head in the right place, man. That's so funny. Yeah, that's you're gonna get that resistance from certain people. They're like, "Are you crazy, man? What are you doing?" So you're gonna get that resistance from people, man. But
you'll never catch her at a fight, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, she don't want to come, I don't want her to come. Just in case I get beat to death or something like that, I don't want her to see that.
What's that like calling her after you've won?
I don't.
You don't? She just finds out, huh?
So at the last fight, I found out she was keeping up with it from her best friend was there in the crowd. So
man,
she was updating it with it every fight.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's you gotta love it to do it. You got to be passionate about it to do it and do it consistently. So there's definitely a lot of hurdles to overcome. People not wanting you to do it, trying to talk you out of it. It's hard to relate to like a fighter's soul, like that call to do it, and the want, the need, and the hunger. I'll say you're around most people. They're like, why would you want to do that, man? That's crazy. They think it's cool, but they're also saying, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to step in there? That's crazy, man. So that's why I call everybody. That's why I call fighters the 1%. You got to be brave, crazy, driven, a little bit of everything to want to step in there and do that. So, yeah, man.
I think you got to train hard, and in my belief, I think like I said, I get beat up pretty good in training. I think you need to be in there with people that's better than you. I don't think you need to be the best person in your gym, especially for an amateur fighter. There's no way you should be the best person in your gym.
Nope.
So I think that's good. And like I had a friend doing it with me. He couldn't handle it, and I said he's kind of taking it personal, like getting he's like, man, it's a Wednesday. I shouldn't be getting my butt whooped after work. I'm like, yeah, man, but it's gonna happen because we play ball together. And I'm like, he played DB, so I'm like, yeah, with football practice, a bad play, you get burnt, maybe give up a few yards. I said, but out here, you mess up, you might get hit in your face. You know what I mean? It's different.
Sure. Well, the stakes are high,
right.
And you're right about being the best guy in the gym and all. You should be sparring pros, man. Spar pros get better, and you get good sparring partners that take care of you.
Right.
And you're going to get the rub. It's called they rub off on you, and you're going to learn a lot. So. You don't learn too much from just teeing off on guys or bad sparring habits or anything like that. Just beating people up in the gym and stuff. But no, you got the right mindset there for sure. That's iron sharpen iron. You know that. So you surround yourself with killers, you'll become a killer. Period. Well, that's good, man. It's fun having you on here, man, and talking to you. We talk leading up to events and all that, and then I never get a chance to that's what this was for. This podcast. I had to step outside my comfort zone and be like, man, I want to do this. And just, it creates content between events and all that, but get to know y'all on another level and stuff like that and help promote y'all and what y'all are doing, man. And, I'm saying, fight night, you see me, man. I'm zigging and zagging and I'm running around and stuff like that. You know how it is, man. But, it's cool to be able to do this and sit down with y'all, man, and peel the onion back a couple of extra layers, And, yeah, man, again, I just want to say, man, I really appreciate you. People have no idea the amount of BS promoters get. I'm sure you can imagine.
Right.
It's the amount of just hollow words and false promises and people saying one thing, then the next week they say the next. So you've been a good, consistent, stable man. That's what I actually like. Fighting skills is second, man. If you're a man of your word, that's first. You know, I'm like, man, at least that guy comes through, man. I mean, I got guys who they don't have the best records, they compete for me, man, but them guys show up and they do what they say they're going to do. So that's a attribute I admire a lot, man. I really do admire that a lot about you. And but yeah, man, we're gonna close this thing out. You got anything extra you want to say, man? Anything to anybody? You know.
No, I just want to say thank you for having me. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I was nervous coming on here. I ain't done anything like this before. So
we both rookies at this, man. I told you, man. Yeah, you did great, man. You did way better than Snotty. So you're already 1-0 against Snotty. You're a better podcaster than Mike. But man, it was an honor having you on here, man. Like I said, you're not a talker, man. So to even come on here and step outside your comfort zone and come do this is cool, man. But yeah, we hope everybody appreciates it and enjoys the episode. And we'll be publishing this very soon. Onward and upward. God bless. Thank you.